Okay, well, good morning. I'm really very happy to see all of you, and I'm very happy to be here. It's hard to imagine and believe that it's been 59 years. 49. I'm just rushing things. It is hard to believe. And it is true that in the chapel, 49 years ago today, at the age of 26, I was 26, and when this all got started. And it started with a dream that I had, and a dream that also Dr. Marie Fleming had, and she was a Unity minister. She served in and founded the church at First and Thorn in San Diego, and then as she grew older and retired, her place was taken by a Unity minister, and then she retired to live in El Cajon, and she worked with Reverend Robert Stevens at the church that he was founding. And I was in the Navy at the time, and I came to church, and she was very inspiring and grandmotherly-like to me, and she's the first person that said, I think you'd make a good Unity minister. And I wanted to do that anyway, but I didn't have any approval or recognition from anybody. So as I came and worked with her, then she saw her dream coming true, and then as she passed away, and then I was in seminary and came here. I served a year at the Unity Church on Altadena, and then came here, and they helped us buy the property for $36,000, and then we had our first service, and that was a year ago today. And along the way, many incredible things have happened, and stories and examples and miracles and dreams come true, and I think many of you know about many of those. And today is not a day to reflect on them, but today is a day to think about dreaming and how dreams are destined to come true, and how we can make our dreams come true if we have any. And then I thought it'd be appropriate to reflect in the dimensions of life, the first dimension, second dimension, and third dimension. We live in a three-dimensional world, and the dimensions are, first dimension is the past, the second dimension is the present, and the third dimension is the future. And we're all living in the present, and this is where we want to be, present, instead of off in the past somewhere. And we revere the past, and we'll do that with honoring the past of those who came before us in that dimension to lead us to this dimension. But for ourselves, we want to be current and alive and modern and fresh and now. And so we live in the now, and it is now o'clock, now. But in looking at, first of all, let's look at the first dimension and think about those people that came before us. And I can't tell you how sweet and wonderful they were, especially for, I was the youngest ever ordained Unity minister when they ordained me at the age of 26. Everybody else was in their 40s, and they just didn't know what to do. And they were worried, and some people are still worried, but but then knowing that I was under the umbrella of Reverend Robert Stevens and the Unity Church in San Diego, they thought things would be okay. So I was ordained. And coming here and establishing the church with all the people that came, and came back and forth and in and out, and the ones that came and stayed and stayed and stayed, it was an exciting, awesome experience that I'm so grateful that I've had that part of my life, a very big part of my life. And what happened was we came and we learned about the truth, and we studied Unity's principles, and then we had a dream. And our dream was to pay off our property and make this little corner of El Cajon as meaningful and beautiful and productive and helpful to our community and a growing place for each of us as it could be. And so we worked really hard. We had a lot of fun. We sang a lot. We prayed a lot. We worshiped on Sunday mornings. We had potlucks. We had raffles. We had bazaars. We had floats in the Mother Goose Parade. We had the world's first recyclable float. It was all made out of aluminum cans. And to this day, I do not know where all those little church ladies got all those beer cans. And when the parade was over, we recycled the float. And the next year, we did a float made all of helium balloons. And we had PCP pipe that we tied them to, and we had to start heliuming the balloons at 4 o'clock in the morning. And we got it all covered, and it was a rainbow that went down Main Street, and we carried it. So it was the first ever in the history of the Mother Goose Parade non-mechanical float. We carried it. And one lady that carried it, well, it was her 94th birthday. Of all, just so many wonderful things just happened like that. And then at the end of that parade, then we released all those balloons. It was really pretty. We never got around to it, but I always thought we'd be great to have a float made out of cake, and at the end of the parade, we'd eat it. But that didn't happen. But when you think of the impact that we had on our community and on the children that came to Sunday school and on the charities and the support that we gave to the community, there were times when we took blankets and food to a small homeless community, and when we helped with bandages and raising funds for other organizations because we knew we couldn't keep it all to ourselves, not because we would be stingy, but because we just were that generous. And we had the dream. And the overall dream was taking care of our property and making it as lovely and special and beautiful and meaningful as it could be. And then someday building a larger place for more to come, and a larger place to exist after everybody in that first dimension was gone. So they were thinking of you, and you were a part of their dream. And you being here and here being here is their dream come true. And it does my heart a lot of good to know that wherever they are, whatever unfolding they're doing now, our warmth and appreciation catches up with them and speeds them on their way, blesses them on their way. And they may say, where's that coming from? And they may not know, but we know that they were here before us and they made a difference, and now the ball is in our court. That's the second dimension. But to get back to the first, there were lovely people that had a dream, an overall dream for this corner of El Cajon. And having that overall dream gave them the courage and the energy to find their individual dream. And once they defined what their individual dream would look like, and define, and then believe that it could come true, and then do the work, and it's work. Do the work to make that dream a reality. Then they would be able to step into the dream and say, I did it, the dream came true. And along the way, in the doing the work part, they would find that they had to do some forgiving to get over those blocks that were holding them back. They had to do some loving that was beyond the easy kind of love. And they had to do some understanding and some looking over things that were hard to look over in order to get on with their dream. So that they had a lot of work to do, and they did the work. And then it seemed to me that every Sunday morning we would gather here support the dream. We had thermometers and charts and reports and all kinds of celebrations and times when we were closer to whatever that particular era's goal was. And so they came here, they saw the progress was being made on the church's dream, but they also saw the progress that was being made on their individual dream and on the individual dreams of each other. And sometimes no one else knew anyone else's dream, but we all knew that we were working towards expanding our awareness, expanding our consciousness, and our communication with God's presence within that we call the Christ. Jesus called it the Christ also. And then knowing this and letting it be the predominant force in our life, the guide, the director, the producer, the inspiration, and the one that gets everything done. So when we see this, when I look back and see that energy and feel the energy and the love and the sweetness and the hard work that everyone put into it, it warms my little heart. And I can see then, too, the results of their dreaming. And they made their dream come true. And this is an original quote. If you don't have dreams, you have nightmares. And so everyone, I say, has to have a dream. And I would be, now that we're talking about the now, what is your dream? And do you believe that it can come true? And if you believe it can come true and you hold fast to it and you do the work and get rid of the stumbling blocks that you have that are holding you back from the dream coming true, and you do the work, I assure you that your dream will come true. And I'm standing in one of my dreams come true, and I have dreams for the future, and I believe that I'm going to do the work, and I believe they're going to come true. And I don't want to get there in the dream come true party without you. So I need you to think about this. First of all, it is the Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. And you've already earned it. It's already yours. You're in the will. And for you to understand that and accept that, then you say, okay, my part then is to dream the dream and have the vision of what I would look like, what my life would look like at its very best, and what is clouding that vision that needs to go, and then how will I share the success and the joy and the happiness that I'll create by making my dream come true? How will I share that with others? And part of the sharing it with others is doing it and doing the work while others watch and then catch on and join in on the quest for being your best and finding your dream and making your dream come true. So it would be then in order, I think, to think that for us, the dream for this church overall would be to continue its unfoldment and development, to continue maintaining it, and it's a lot of work, like with our homes and our cars and our bodies, to have to keep things going, and then see it as the place for people to come, to join you, and to be friends and family with you, and say, those people, and this is you now, those people are moving, they're thinking, they're genuine, they're conscious, they're aware, they're up to something, and it's good, and I want to be around that. And then what the magic is, and I know about this because I've been doing this for like 49 years. The magic is that the people that can scrub and clean will do that. The people that can make cookies will do that. And the people that can be friendly and sing and support and show up and teach Sunday school, they'll do that because everyone else, which would be all of you, is doing their best in their part. And before you know it, you've got magnetically drawing people in that want to be a part of the dream. And they want, while they're making this dream come true of being a viable, important gathering place for the exchange of ideas and experiences and the support and the encouragement to keep going and go farther and do better, because they'd be a part of that, then there'd be everything would be clean. There'd be plenty of cookies, and everybody that can sing and teach Sunday school would all join in, because they would be feeling the contagiousness that you in the present moment are devoted to, committed to, and have as your purpose. So I see then this dimension as a time and place for all of us to be thinking about the welfare of this, our spiritual home, and at the same time to be responsible to our soul, to be in touch with our dreams. What are our dreams? What would our life look like? What do we want it to be like? What do we want it to look like? And then play with those ideas. And as you play with those ideas and ask those questions, your heart of hearts, God's presence within you, will reveal things to you that it's time for you to do. No matter how old you are, no matter how much energy you think you don't have, or no matter what your circumstances are, financial or whatever, Spirit will reveal to you incredible things that if you could grasp them, believe in them, do the work, and then enjoy them, your friends and family would be astonished, and they would be encouraged, and in your honor, and in your memory, and in your style, they would catch on and do incredible things in their lives, which would make your whole family, that whole neighborhood that you live in, the church that you attend, the things that you do and support, all come more alive because you were alive. You weren't under a bushel, but you were shining bright because you knew what your dreams were and you were making them come true. So I think that's the challenge and the opportunity that we have in this dimension. And then believing in the third dimension, the future, that as you have this dream and do the work for the church and its vision here, and that means show up, serve, give, sing loud, eat all the food at the potlucks and bring something delicious along the way. As you do all of that, then this place is alive and thriving, and you're very fortunate to have Reverend Robert Bright as your spiritual leader, and his whole heart is in this, and he's committed, and as he leads you in the process of learning and growing and expanding. He grows. You grow him, and his words offer stimulus to you for you to choose the one so that you grow you. And it's a magical thing, just absolutely incredible. And we live in a changing world. The other day on Good Morning America, I think it was Gail, one of the people at the desk, said, people don't dress like that anymore. And I find that to be true. People don't look like they used to look like. and things are changing. Del Mar Racetrack is having difficulties because people don't want to go to the races anymore, and it's not as glamorous. When movie stars went, and the movie stars that went, nobody knows who they were now, and so they're having to reinvent themselves, and so there are all kinds of changes are taking place. And this is a situation that is stayed but not stagnant, and it is changing to move along with the times. We can see changes around us, and but as we come to this place, it adds stability to our quality of life, to who we are. And as we gather together, People need people. People need to be together. People need to rub elbows with each other. People need to put up with the ones that are slow and wait for the ones, catch up with the ones that are fast. And we have this balance. And it's in this balance that we learn, that we grow, that we expand, that we confirm our beliefs about ourselves, about humanity, about the way that the spiritual laws work. And it can only be done when you get in your car and get here and mingle with everybody. And the more you do that, the better it gets for everyone. And going back to the first dimension, as I gave the sermons and did the spiritual teaching and all that, it was the people that were here, their beautiful faces and their love and their energy that pulled whatever was good out of me and for them to use and utilize. And I needed them, and they needed each other. And it was they were the ones that built the church. They are the ones that should be recognized. You are the ones that are building this and establishing this spiritual consciousness, and you should be recognized. And you recognize this with each other, and then you recognize that you get community support and love. Then in the future, we're looking at a place that is filled with love, that people have put a lot of energy and expectation into, that when the future comes here, and we're all in the great beyond, catching up and being thankful with those who were from the first dimension, they will feel your presence. They will appreciate your work, and then they'll put their shoulder to the wheel and do what needs to be done by them. And they'll be doing things differently because as the world changes, that difference will come. And so, but they'll be building on the foundation that you have inherited and that you are maintaining. And they'll be learning things like these things that you're learning in. I made a list so that I wouldn't forget. This is just a partial list. But they did discover, people came here and come here and will come here to discover their spiritual identity, to develop purpose, to search for meaning and find it, to learn to look within and have inner reflection, to awaken the presence within, to become receptive to ideas that dreams awaken, and to change their focus, to learn the truth about themselves, to dream of peace in conflict, to dream of abundance where there seems to be lack, to dream of love rather than a judgment, to dream of calm rather than disturbances, and to discover God's presence within, to connect with spirit, to dream of the desires of their higher self, to express busyness and productivity. We don't want to just be busy, we want to be productive, but we are all in the express business. And to learn how to give, to realize their potential, to be in the flow of spirit, to discover their divine gifts, to experience God's presence as a reality, and to build the spiritual connections with others, to increase their prosperity, to learn to transmit dreams into ideas and then actions, and to learn that all things are possible to create health and healing and prosperity and relationship, and to create a healing with the healing power of prayer, and to understand the ever presence of a loving Father, Mother, God. And this is what we're about as a congregation, taking all of these qualities into account will enforce and enable us to be conscious and bring about the results that we desire in our lives. We give thanks for those that came before. They did a beautiful job, and I just wish you could have known them. They were very special. And we give thanks for you as you are here now. And I hope you know each other and feel the connection that you have in this project and then take that connection and the stimulus of it to your own lives and make results happen there just as you're making them here. And then let's know that those will come to take our place, just as we came to take the place of those that came before us. Those will come, and when they get here, they'll say, wow, do you feel the love? Do you feel the effort and the energy? Do you feel that the quality of life that the people that were here must have built, and the work that they did to get here? Let's bow our heads and close our eyes. Father, for this time together, we give thanks. We give thanks for that first wave of our congregation. We give thanks for this present moment, and we give thanks for the future that we know will be beautiful because we'll be doing our part in the now to make it so. For those that have come, for all of us that are here, for those that are on their way, Father, we give thanks. And we give thanks that you inspire us to have a dream and to make the dream come true. And for the results that are just waiting for all of us, we give thanks for them in advance. In your name, amen.